You are the most powerful woman on earth. The sun never sets on your empire, but inside your blood, there is a mistake. One corrupted letter in your DNA. Too small for any doctor alive to see. Powerful enough to outlive your empire. You will never know you have it. Your grandchildren will. Russia will feel it. Spain will feel it. Germany will feel it. The fuse starts with you. Here's what's happening inside the bodies of your descendants, and why it's so much worse than you've been told. Your blood is perfectly capable of clotting, but it's missing one essential protein in the cascade, a clotting factor that acts as the glue sealing the wound shut. Without it, the bleeding doesn't stop. Not from a cut, not from a bruise, and most horrifyingly, not from inside the body. The condition passed through your bloodline is now known as hemophilia B, a rare, severe form confirmed through DNA testing of the Romanov remains in 2009. Its cruelest form isn't a dramatic wound, it's a joint bleed, a hemarthrosis. Picture this. Your grandson bumps his knee on a table, nothing visible, no cut, but blood begins flooding the space inside his knee joint, slowly, invisibly, relentlessly. The pressure builds until the joint is swollen to the size of a grapefruit. The pain is described by survivors as bones being crushed from the inside, and if it happens enough times, the joint fuses permanently. He'll never fully extend that arm again. Records describe Alexei's suffering, often bedbound, carried from room to room by servants. A nosebleed could last for days. A stumble during play could trigger weeks of screaming agony. Sometimes the danger was so invisible it made the whole palace feel haunted. No wound, no blood on the floor. Just a child growing pale, then rigid with pain, while adults tried to guess which joint or muscle was filling with blood this time. That uncertainty was part of the terror. By the time anyone understood what was happening, the damage had already begun. And this is the heir to the Russian throne, which means a child's disease is about to become an empire's secret. But first, where did this mutation actually come from? When Queen Victoria was born in 1819, there was no history of hemophilia in the British royal family. Her father showed no symptoms. Her mother's line showed none either. So where did it come from? It is believed to have been a spontaneous mutation occurring at or near Victoria's own conception. A random cosmic error, a single base pair in 3 billion that simply went wrong. No one's fault, no warning, no precedent. Here's why it stayed hidden in you, but devastated your sons and grandsons. Hemophilia sits on the X chromosome. Women have 2 X chromosomes. The healthy one masks the broken one. Men inherit only 1 X chromosome from their mother. If that X carries the mutation, there is no backup, no second copy to save them. They get the full disease. You are the carrier, perfectly healthy, walking through history as the most celebrated woman alive, and inside you, a loaded gun you don't know you're holding. Victoria and Prince Albert had 9 children. Through 2 daughters, Princess Alice and Princess Beatrice, the mutation traveled outward to the royal houses of Russia, Spain, and Germany. Her son Prince Leopold had the disease directly. He died of a brain hemorrhage after a minor fall in 1884. 9 children, each one a marriage alliance with a foreign throne. Each daughter a potential carrier. Each royal wedding another country quietly placed in the crosshairs. This is where history textbooks get it wrong. They show you a family tree. What you're actually looking at is a biological delivery system moving through the most celebrated institutions on earth, royal marriages. Every wedding looked like diplomacy, a church ceremony, a parade, a treaty in lace and gold. But hidden inside those alliances was a mutation no one could see, passing from palace to palace under the language of dynasty, duty, and love. Their son Frederick had hemophilia and died young from a bleeding episode. Their daughter Alex, later known as Empress Alexandra of Russia, would become the mother of Tsarevich Alexei. She carried the gene and never knew it until her son was born. Where the sons of King Alfonso XIII bled for years, one dying from hemophilia complications following a car accident. But it's Russia where the gene stops being a medical tragedy and becomes a political one. Alexei Nikolaevich, born in 1904, heir to the largest empire on earth, his hemophilia was so severe that trivial injuries were potentially fatal. Once the future of the dynasty depends on a child who can bleed from a bruise, fear starts making decisions. That secrecy handed revolutionaries exactly what they needed: The Tsar and Tsarina told almost no one about Alexei's condition because in the brutal political logic of Imperial Russia, admitting your only male heir was gravely ill was admitting the dynasty itself was fragile, so they kept it secret. And into that vacuum of desperate secrecy walked Grigory Rasputin. In late 1906, Rasputin began acting as a faith healer for Alexei. Alexandra came to believe, with total conviction, that this wandering Siberian mystic was the only thing standing between her son and death. And once a mother believes that, politics changes shape. Ministers become obstacles, doctors become threats, advisors who question the mystic sound to her like men gambling with her child's life. Rasputin is no longer just a holy man in the palace. He is the gatekeeper to the heir's survival. Much of his influence with the imperial family came from Alexandra's belief that he had, on multiple occasions, stopped the bleeding when conventional doctors had failed. Did he actually heal anything?
Nope.
Almost certainly not. Historians speculate that Rasputin's advice to keep doctors away from Alexei may have accidentally helped, since the standard treatment at the time, aspirin, was unknowingly making the bleeding worse by further impairing clotting. His calm presence may have also reduced Alexei's emotional distress, and emotional stress is now understood to worsen hemophilia episodes. But the credit goes to biology, not mysticism. What matters is what Alexandra believed, and what she believed handed Rasputin extraordinary power over the Russian court. He advised Tsar Nicholas to take personal command of the Russian military in World War I, a catastrophic recommendation for a man with zero military experience. Nicholas followed it. The front collapsed. Hundreds of thousands died. Alexandra, guided by Rasputin, blocked every attempt at constitutional reform. Even as Russia starved, soldiers mutinied, and the people demanded change. Now hold all of this together, because here is the domino chain that history almost missed. Historians have noted this directly. Had it not been for Alexei's hemophilia, had Alexandra not turned to Rasputin first to save her son, then to guard the autocracy, Russia was actually moving towards stability. In 1905, the Duma had been created. Parliamentary cooperation was building momentum. Revolution was not inevitable. It was made inevitable in part by a gene, a single corrupted letter in your DNA, carried silently in your blood, passed through daughters you loved fiercely, into courts you never visited, triggering a revolution you were dead 14 years before seeing. That is what makes this story so unsettling. Victoria never marched on Russia. She never ordered a coup in Spain. She never dictated the future of Europe. Yet through marriage, inheritance, and one invisible mutation, her body reached farther than armies did. You died in 1901, at 81, having outlived your husband, your hemophiliac son, Leopold, and the certainty that your family would rule Europe forever. The Romanovs fell in 1918. One mutation, one woman, 9 children, a continent that bled. The most sobering part? Victoria was, by all accounts, a devoted, grieving mother. She suffered when Leopold suffered. She had no way of knowing what she carried, and no way to stop what was coming. Which leaves you with the question I want you to sit with tonight. If you knew your bloodline would destroy your grandchildren's world, would you still marry for the crown? Let me know in the comments below. If this changed how you see royal history, subscribe. And if you want to see how Rasputin cheated death 3 times in one night, that video is on screen now.